What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Harry the Horse Barbecue, and today we are making that Goldee's barbecue pork belly at home. A beautifully fatty pork belly seasoned simply with salt, throwing it on the top rack of the smoker to build some clean, beautiful smoke flavor with the hopes of recreating Goldee's newest barbecue item, Goldee's at home. I'm about it. Let's get it.
Harry the Horse Barbecue.
That's right, we're continuing the Goldee's barbecue series around here with their newest barbecue item, their smoked pork belly. We're all familiar with Goldee's, the #1 barbecue joint in Texas, as rated by Texas Monthly. That crew down at Goldee's has been inspiring barbecue cooks and drawing so much attention to their spot over the last couple years, and it's rightfully deserved. They're slinging out some of the best barbecue that you could possibly have in the state of Texas. Now, after doing some research, I've watched a few videos by Ant's Barbecue Cookout, who has highlighted this new Goldee's barbecue item. As seen on Ant's Barbecue Cookout, Goldee's cuts their pork belly into these manageable size squares, hits them with a bunch of salt, and then throws them onto a custom-made M&M rotisserie smoker. They are skinless bellies, but at the end of the day, they almost look like they have this puffy, crunchy skin on them. The end result of these Goldee's barbecue bellies are crispy, tender, juicy, fatty, and they just look amazing coming off that M&M rotisserie. Now today I'm making a backyard barbecue version of this pork belly. I don't have a rotisserie, but I do have a top rack of my fat stack, which should emulate similar airflow and get us that crispy outside layer that we're all looking for when it comes to pork belly. So in order to make this Goldee's barbecue smoked pork belly, we gotta go shopping for pork belly. Pork belly. Here I have a Chairman's Reserve center cut pork belly that I picked up from my local grocery store, and I think center cut is the way to go. Now, we all know pork belly is where the bacon comes from, and everybody loves bacon. I asked my butcher to cut me a center cut portion of this Chairman's Reserve pork belly. That's gonna get us the most even cooking and the most delicious bites of the pork belly possible. Now enough horsing around, let's get this pork belly out of the pack. As you can see, we have a beautiful pork belly here, and we even might have some of the rib meat left on the pork belly, which is some beautifully delicious meat. So all Goldee's does at their restaurant is season their pork belly with straight up salt. In my opinion, they're probably using kosher salt, but in some of the research I've done, the salt does look to be a little bit finer grained than kosher salt. Goldee's also doesn't season the underside of the pork belly during this process. I'm going to just for a little bit of extra flavor. So I'm gonna go on this belly with a little bit of kosher salt on the underside, just so we don't have any under-seasoned bellies at the end of the day. I'm also gonna hit the sides a little bit as well. Give it a flip around. And as you can see, this is a skinless pork belly. This method is not to be confused with a crispy skin pork belly. That'll be a future Harry the Horse barbecue video. This is simply a fat cap. There is no crispy skin involved here. Our goal today is crisping up this fat cap to have a crunchy exterior. So we're gonna go a little bit heavier with this kosher salt on the fat cap to help draw out some of that moisture. This fat cap is gonna render down, get golden and crispy. It's gonna be nice and salty, smoky, fatty. This pork belly is all seasoned up with that kosher salt and it's ready for the cooker. So let's go fire up the cooker. Sweet. All right, y'all, the fat stack is running between 250 and 275, and that's where I'm gonna keep this. I am not sure the temperature at which Goldee's runs their M&M rotisserie to cook these pork bellies, but for most barbecue, 250 to 275 is pretty safe. Now, we do know that Goldee's is running a rotisserie, and in order to emulate that on the fat stack, I'm gonna put the pork belly on the top rack. This way, as the heat and smoke move their way from the firebox, they can travel above and underneath the pork belly, simulating how air would move in a rotisserie from underneath up and out. I've got the damper about 1/3 of the way closed to get some smoky flavor. Our fire is maintaining anywhere between 250 and 275. So enough horsing around. Let's go grab that pork belly. Let's go. Goldee style pork belly coming at you. Let's get it on the cooker. Up and under. Okay. We're gonna get this belly on the dead center of the upper rack. Something like that. Our belly should be exposed to all of the air moving through this cooker, so that way the underside and the top side get some beautiful color, and that fat renders for a super juicy, tender, crisp, porky bite. All we gotta do is close her down. Boom. Shaka, laka, yeah. All right, y'all, about 3 hours in, just wanted to give y'all a quick update on this cook. Here's our fire. I let the coal bed get a little low, so trying to reestablish that. Usually 3 or 4 splits will get us anywhere between 250 and 275. These are the size splits I'm running. Cooker's running right around that 250 to 275 mark. Like I said, I let the coal bed get a little low. As y'all can hopefully see, we got some good smoke rolling out of the stack. It's been periods of cleaner smoke and dirtier smoke, but I ain't mad at it. And lastly, I'm just gonna take y'all for a quick peek on the pork belly before we do an in-depth look in a couple of hours. It's looking like bacon. This belly's looking good, getting dark on top. Ooh, yeah. I'll bring y'all back in a little bit once we render some more fat and crisp up that fat on top. All right, y'all, it's been about 6 hours on this Goldee's pork belly. I showed y'all a sneak peek a little earlier, but let's take an in-depth look at this belly. I'm hoping to see some golden rendered bellies. Should be better looking than my belly. Let's take a look. Up and under. Ooh. That belly's looking golden and bubbly. Come take a look. This belly is looking super golden and it's getting that dark smoky color on top. And check it out. You could see that crispy fat forming over here. This side is starting to render pretty well, but it's not getting as crisp. I did give this belly a rotation because when this end was facing the fire before, it felt like the smoke was hitting it, bouncing up and skipping the midsection. I rotated for a more aerodynamic pathway for the smoke to travel over the belly. This is more rendered and crispy. This is rendering, but still a little bouncy. So I'm gonna give this pork belly a rotation. Looks like we're in the upper 170s. Let's continue to let this fat render. No spritzes today, y'all, because I don't think Goldee's is using any kind of spritz on their rotisserie smoker, so I'm just letting this thing render and rock out. Now, when it comes to a wrap, according to the footage that I researched, Goldee's is just taking those pork bellies off of the rotisserie and the skin starts to deflate from that high heat cooking. So we're gonna continue to smoke this belly at 275 now. I'm gonna open up the damper completely until this belly reaches anywhere between 190 and 200 degrees Fahrenheit. We want that belly to be super tender, but also sliceable. So we're gonna let this belly do its thing. Let's close it down. Boom. Really excited for this tried and true Goldee's pork belly method. True rhymes with blue. What's that? You see a blue? Where? There's our blue. How am I gonna get to that? I know what I'll do. I'll be enjoying my homemade Goldee's with a crisp, cold Canadian Pilsner. Gotta get the full experience. Our Goldee's belly is coming off the smoker and I'd have to say I'm a little disappointed. I didn't quite get that crispy fat that I'm looking for. We got it on this edge. You could see where the fat sort of separates from the meat, but this edge, maybe the fat cap was just a little too much. As we saw in the Ants barbecue cookout video, as Johnny takes off the pork belly from the cooker, the skin sort of deflates down and I was really hoping for that. Maybe it's all in the rotisserie. I'll definitely have to try this again to find out. Nonetheless, this pork belly is going to be delicious, but we gotta let it cool down. All right, our Goldee's belly is still a little hot, reading at about 160 degrees Fahrenheit, but I cannot wait any longer. I gotta try this out. Y'all can see we got some bubbly, crispier skin on this end of the belly. It feels good, it just is not that crispy level of Goldee's. How can I achieve that crispier fat? Can someone hook me up with a Goldee smoker or someone hook me up with an M&M rotisserie? If you take a look at this underside, that fat stack did a really nice job of cooking the entire bottom really evenly. So enough horsing around, let's cut into this beast, starting with this crispier side. Looks like a pretty good slice of pork belly to me. Going in for that taste test. Oh my God. It's so meaty. Oh, it's got that perfect blend of meat and fat. I mean, there's no resistance. Clean smoke flavor, the saltiness from the kosher salt, and you get a little bit of crisp on top. This whole slab of pork belly is edible. There's nothing that's too crispy, nothing that's dried out. Whoa. Just pulls right apart. That looks like some crispy fat. Let's try it out. Yep, that was nice and crispy. Oh man, Wowza. You take a bite and it's like an explosion of juice. It's a good pork belly if I've ever seen one. I can see why Goldee's does this. All in all, this Goldee style belly is a winner for sure. Gotta cut through all that fat with a nice blue light. Oh yeah, ready to go back in for more. This Goldee's barbecue style pork belly is so good, I just can't stop. Hello, belly. Hold your horses. That's good. Oh yeah. I've gotta commend Goldee's barbecue on this recipe. Trying to replicate it at home is not easy, although it looks really simple to do. But this smoked pork belly the Goldee's way is killer. And this pork belly is not horsing around. Y'all know that pork belly is super heavy from all that fat, so I'm about to hit a food coma. While I do, I'm gonna go dream of some of those pork belly lyrics. Whoa, am I in dreamland? Cool. Yeah, Goldee's belly, yeah, you know that it jiggles like jelly. Super tender, pull apart almost like it's pork sketty. Waking up from a porky dream and I'm feeling heavy. Hit that like button, drop a sub if you haven't already. Once again, shout out to Goldee's Barbecue for being real ones. They put their recipes out there and they're super transparent about what they're doing at their restaurant. And I love learning from the barbecue greats. Shout out to Ant's Barbecue Cookout for putting this information out there. His videos are incredible, so if you haven't checked out Ant's Barbecue Cookout, make sure you do so. Thank y'all for tuning in to Harry the Horse Barbecue. I really appreciate you checking out this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel below. I made a beautiful pork belly and we got more content coming. So just hit that subscribe button. You know we got some crispy fat on this pork belly, so go ahead and leave a like on this video. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts on this Goldee's pork belly method, if you've been to Goldee's, and the next Goldee's inspired recipe I should be cooking. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you get notified every time we're posting new content, and you can follow me on Instagram at Harry the Horse Barbecue. Tag me so I can see what y'all are cooking because it really inspires me to get outside and cook. And with that being said, there's only one more thing, y'all. This one is going straight to the horse's mouth. We'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace. Oh yeah, that crispy belly. I gotta go to Goldee's.